we call it fishbone analysis because it's nature. It's look like it appear like a fishbone here, the fish head here. Uh, it's the bone, the branch, something like that. Or another name we call Ishikawa. Ishikawa is the name of professor, Japanese professor Kaoru Ishikawa. So he's a professor and he invented this model to control the quality for production quality control. So it's like this analysis was initially developed for quality control the quality. It's like Toyota company too. It Japan during 1940 19 sorry after World War II, like 50 60 is industrial revolution Japan, and a lot of people helped to build the model for quality control, to manage the production, the project. And this kind of model has been adopted by Toyota company from that period on until now. That's why right now Toyota is still a leading automobile company, a car production company. And then people, they just apply it to different field. It's like to problem solving, to uh, logistic, to business. And one of the main tool of the main use of fishbone analysis is in problem solving, because it helps to understand the specific cause of the problem. It's like first you need to find the problem. What is the problem here? And then you branch out, you find the category, and normally the generic category of the problem is come from five, normally five, but material, method, machine, people, and environment. And measurement, it's sometimes it's optional. It's like I put in the parentheses here. It's not always the case, but most of the time it came from this factor, like people, environment, material, method, machine, machinery, technology. And this analysis also helped to uncover, to discover the hold up in the process, the delay in the process, why the process is not running as efficient and effective, cost effective, or timely manner. And it also help to discover any and for what reason a specific process isn't working. So we do analysis, we will find out why it's not working. And we're going to go to the next slide. The next slide. I'll show you one video about the fishbone analysis, how they build it by hand. So we don't need a computer to do it. I mean, they have software to do it. Just Google it, you find a lot of software. You could use Excel to do it. But first, for this class, we're going to do it by hand. So it's video from YouTube, so you could.
A common challenge for improvement teams is identifying what changes you can test to improve a process or problem. One great method to help you break down ideas is a tool known as a cause and effect diagram. You may have also heard of this tool referred to as an Ishikawa diagram, attributed to its creator, Kuru Ishikawa, or a fishbone diagram because of the resemblance to the bones of a fish. To create a cause and effect diagram, write the effect in a box on the right-hand side of the page. So let's imagine we're working on improving hand washing. All right, then draw a horizontal line across the page. Decide on a few categories or causes for the problem. Useful categories of causes in the classic fishbone diagram include people, methods, materials, equipment, and environment. Then we can draw a diagonal line to each of these, and these are actually the bones of the fish, hence its name. The process of categorizing potential causes may be very useful to help you to break down a complex problem and focus in on it from various perspectives. So as you're looking at each of the categories, you want to generate a list of causes. In this example, people might include clinical staff, right? It also might include non-clinical staff. I'll just put them as just other staff. It might include the methods. How do you actually wash your hands? So I'll say wash process. It could be the materials. Are you using the right kind of soap, or is it dry out your hands? So we'll think about the soap. Could be the equipment, like the dispenser. Is it an easy dispenser to use? Does it give you the right amount? Or maybe it's the environment. Where is the dispenser location? Is it near the process of care? Identify the causes by asking why with people that are closest to the process until you've reached a useful level of detail. That is when the cause is specific enough to be able to test a change and to measure its effects. Sometimes I like to describe this for folks that have children as the 5-year-old method. If you ever had a kid, they ask you why 5 times constantly until they get to the root of the problem. And you're doing the same thing here.
Okay, sorry. All right, let's go to next slide. So this is the real one, the real fishbone analysis. When we do the real one, it looks like complicated. Yeah, sometimes you could improvise. You could like do an arrow sign or just like draw a straight line like this. That's all help this analysis. So the first step, you try to find what is the problem statement. So the problem statement you find, there's a lot of problem here, and how could we find it? Through brainstorming. Brainstorming help you to define the problem. So the problem related to supplier. What's wrong with supplier? So you do this. So you define the problem. For example, in the book, the problem is related to inaccurate order picking. Problem with order picking. So we do that here. So this is the problem statement. And number 2, we brainstorm major category of causes of the problem, right? So again, there are 5 things. People, equipment, environment, technology or machine, and method, the way people implement it. Measurement is optional, but this one we don't have it, so you don't need it. Step number 2, so in production, in business and logistic, this is the 5 of them. These 5 generic major category of causes is always the case, but it's different cases for accounting company or for the bank. They might need something else. They might relate to the cash flow. So the major category is not. It's probably not. Maybe not machinery or anything anymore. It probably is something related to the people, the cash flow, the amount of debt. I don't know, whatever, the credit score, like the maybe the credit policy or whatever. That is different. But just for our field of study, we focus on these 5 things. This is the generic category. So we brainstorm it, and you already know there are five of them. And then number 3, you write down, step number 3, you write down the causes as the branches from the main category. For example, the problem is inaccurate order picking, right? And the people, and the category is the people, and subcategory could be poor selection procedure. So poor selection procedure, kind of different thing. Maybe the way that the company manage people, they do not divide people to. Maybe some people they overlap their work, they do like duplicated work, or Some people doesn't know what they're doing, what they're assigned to do, what they're responsible for. This kind of cause problem with is the major problem for the stuff. Human error. Human always make error, and in order to minimize error, we have to provide them with enough training. The same thing. If you go do that's why like a company wants any graduate student to have internship experience, because internship experience, those students have got trained before. They are exposed to working environment, so at least they have some idea. And then I mean, like when they're exposed to working environment, the student is easily to train, like to get trained by the existing stuff. Poor communication is always the case. Miscommunication, it happen a lot. Sometimes it lead to like catastrophe in the company because communication. One thing, for example, in a like around 40 years ago, in a rocket launch in Florida. So there's one miscommunication too, because in United States they use imperial measurement system like pound, feet, or Fahrenheit or whatever, and then they hire some engineer. And even though the rocket engine they bought from Russia, but at that time it was made in Ukraine. Russia has like the like the best quality rocket engine up until now, and they bought over there. And unfortunately, country outside, uh, other than United States, they use metric system, and there's some problem with conversion, like conversion from meter to feet. And yeah, like the crew, even though they are smart people, they still have like miscommunication. They miss one point. The I think it's probably the metric system. They confuse between the metric and the imperial system. And then when they launch it, something related to the precipitation, the air precipitation, and sometimes the air precipitation is higher than the threshold, the launch, it should be cancelled. But there's some problem with that kind of communication. So the flight manager still decide to launch anyway, and then later on the rocket crash in the middle of the sky and then kill like 7 astronauts. So communication is really important anywhere, like especially you work in a technical skill, like technical field, you use a lot of knowledge. Communication is very essential. Skill shortage, the same thing. Lack of training, similar thing. Too many error. Yeah, you already know. Equipment, too few order pickup trucks. Sometimes they don't have enough scanner. That also lead to inaccurate order picking. Environment, sometimes unable to read product code. Poor lighting. Maybe the warehouse is too hot or too cold. Congestion in the air is not good too. Technology, maybe no warehouse management system. They have no system to manage it. Take too long. The paper-based system, paper-based sometimes it's not always efficient. It's slow. And then you go to method, single order, pick single order. We already learned that it's pick one by one. It's really slow. It's not efficient. So this thing, it contribute to the major categories or the causes or the problem. And then you go to step number 4. Step number 4 is the real deal here. So you investigate the cause. So this is how you take action to do it. So you look at the cause one by one, and you feel like, all right, a lack of training and inexperienced team leader. They do these two require training. It's the same thing. So you just cross one out. You don't need both of them. You know what I'm saying? So just you have to go to everything that you wrote down here, and if you find any causes that is duplicated, just cross out any causes which is like it's not the real causes of the problem. You just cross it out too. Or you may be, or like your company don't have enough resources to deal with the problem at once. So you just like circle any problem that is any causes that is really uh, cause a lot of harm, cause more harm to to the company to order picking than the other. So you just prioritize. You look at the cost that is cause more harm than the other. You circle it and you put priority that you have to take care of that causes first. You need to try to solve it first. You know. Okay. Any other question? Let me look at the comment section. What was Starbucks or something? Oh, Starbucks is international brand, so the process of franchising is possible. I don't know. You have to go to their policy, but I think it's possible. It, huh, maybe not. Maybe not. Starbucks, I saw one Starbucks in Cambodia, but they use the international strategy is alliance. They build an alliance. They contact someone who want to put investment, who is available in the country and could uh, maybe merger the not merger like trying to invest together. But I don't think you could franchise with Starbucks because it's international brand and it's like it's international companies and they don't want to franchise because it's the nature of the company. They try really hard to protect the recipe, and if they franchise it to you, they have to share the recipe, and that's not good. For example, Coca-Cola. Everyone know Coca-Cola, right? I went to Coca-Cola headquarters, so I toured the headquarters. They call vault, like VAUTE, VAUTE. It's where they protect their recipe. They protect the recipe and the taste and the flavor because like if you franchise, if those company franchise to like someone in another country, they have to share their recipe. Want to share the recipe, if people know the process of making Starbucks coffee, like your product will lose value. It doesn't make any difference because other people could make coffee have the same flavor. You know what I'm saying? It's different from Middlepool. Middlepool they just they just franchise. First they franchise the style, we call original bot, like how they design decoration, and the flavor is also different too. The flavor in Middlepool flavor from one area to in the city and the province is different. So, but Starbucks is they will not share. They will not share your recipe for sure. They won't. It's their secret. And two. So based on what I have been briefed about Coca-Cola again, uh, their recipe share only to two people. Only two people who know their recipe, and those two people they cannot travel or stay together, and they're not allowed to know each other too, because they want to prevent someone from stealing their recipe. Yeah. If I think for international brands such as uh, they want like Korean chicken fry. What is it called? I forgot the one in front of Bill Bright. I saw it. I think you could franchise that. I forgot the name. I forgot it. I don't know. Like it's the Korean store. A lot of people franchise Korean thing. Yeah, but for Starbucks, it's going to be hard. They don't want. They might not want to do it. Okay, any other question? I think this is the end of the slide, just like teach you how to do fishbone analysis. So next week on Monday, we're gonna meet at the same time. Uh, yeah, same day, same time from 10 to 12. If you don't have anything to do, we just like review, just review, and we'll deal with any kind of admin stuff, like you need to retake the quiz or you need to resubmit anything. And I'm gonna introduce you with some problem. Maybe I put one problem related to like creating a fishbone diagram. Try to find problem that you have and use your brainstorming skill to do it. It's easy. This analysis, this diagram is easy to make. Okay. Any other question? Question about final exam? You guys know that next week is week 14 or what? 14 or final prep week? You heard anything about what other professors say? I like my supervisors said this week is week 13, but my schedule said this is already week 15, so I'm confused. Okay, so next week is final prep week. Okay, all right. Yeah, based on calendar is the prep week. But the first week we cannot start because like Corona thing and they closed down university. The school might lift it up, but that's okay. We already finished everything. This is the last material. You do the schedule. This is the last material. Oh, the only thing that I haven't submit to you is one article. It's about what we can learn from the game in Rio, Brazil. Let me upload it right now. Five supply chain lesson I can learn. Okay. So please read the article. It's only a page. It's not bad. So, yeah. 15. So just review it right now. So five supply chain lesson we can learn from the summer game. So this is one thing that I want you guys to read and have some perspective on the supply chain management, how they could deal with the game like in Rio game, the country has to prepare had to use a lot of logistic knowledge to take care of everyone, including make sure the stadium is big enough to support the audience travel from all over country. Make sure the country have enough flight from all over the world, connecting fly, direct fly, and they have available hotel, restaurant, that have a transportation, especially in Olympic game, like 10,000 of people travel to flood to the city at the same time. So it's gonna be a disaster. They don't know how to manage the logistic and supply chain management. Here. Okay, please read this. It's short here. So first point, they talk about optimization of cost, sustainability, transparency of supplier, risk management, and operational excellence. Okay. Okay. I will have one or two questions from this article. Uh, multiple choice question from this article. on the final exam. I told you before, right? We have 3 long exam, paragraph. You have to answer in paragraph. So one of them is related to the warehouse. Another one is inventory, and another one is transportation. So 3 of them, and then probably have 10 short answer question. You could reply it using like 1 to 3 sentences. 1 to 3 sentences max for short answer question. And then gonna have a bunch of multiple choice question. So for multiple choice from the quiz, and from the quiz, and from 2 questions from this article. So please read it and review your quiz. And for the short answer question, I'm gonna pick from the topic. Every week we learn on performance tool management, financial tool management. Financial, we have only one topic, which is return on investment, ROI. And then we focus on problem solving skill that we just study. Maybe I will have you draw a fishbone, like fishbone analysis thing. And you don't have to put like a lot like what I show in the slide. So probably one or two in each branch. That's it. I will specify that. It will take, if you know how to brainstorm, it will take you 1 or 2 minutes to do it. It's really fast. And you just remember that, so this thing will be empty, but you already know what to fill out. Like people, equipment, environment, technology, or machine, and method. You already know how to fill out. And yeah, you just like put two to three of them in its branch. The exam will be 2 hours, so 2 hours long. It's not that bad, but it's gonna be quite challenging. Okay. I mean, yeah, the paper say 2 hours, but if you guys take 2 hours and a half, it's fine. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, but just aim at 2 hours, just in case something went wrong. Okay. If you have any question, please let me know. If not, I'm gonna stop recording. And